Hello, this is Jamie Marbo Nichols, and I am here with my co host, Brandi Hooker Evans. And we are here with the Heart of Dentistry, taking the ache out and putting the heart back in. And I am so excited for today's topic. And I'm going to let you start us out on that, Brandi.
Yeah. Jamie and everyone at the Heart of Dentistry podcast, you all are incredible. And I'm so excited to be on your team. And what has been heavy on my heart in my life, personally and professionally, and as I watch the world at large, is intentionality. And what I see is so much big energy in the whole universe right now, it feels, that is taking people along for a ride. Like, this energy is sweeping us all up, and I catch people, including myself, not quite showing up the way that they think of as themselves, like, we're all working to be a better person, but I think that a lot of us are just trying to get from this task to this task to this event to this thing, and so we're living in survival mode and maybe not having the conversations in our own brains and with the people around us or the actions that match who we really are.
I agree with that. When I asked you, before we get started, we were just talking about what's been weighing on your heart, or what when it's just you and I talking, before we have guests. And you brought this topic up, and I was like, "Oh boy, is she talking to me? Has she been in my a fly on the walls in my house or my car, in my brain?" So I'm glad you're starting it out because you're one of the most uber positive people I know. And so for you to even have even a hint of maybe not being intentional or living the way that you feel and your thoughts and your actions, the way you should, I was like, okay. So I'm excited. So tell me what is it you're doing because you recognize that lately? What is it you're specifically doing in order to combat that or to be showing up the way you want to in your mind and in your presence?
Right. So a couple of things are changing the whole trajectory of my, let's say, personal and professional. I'm not even like judging anyone else here. This is all about me. The very first thing is I have been trying to take a deep breath. I've been trying to take a step back and think before I speak, both to myself and out loud.
Mm.
And that is so hard for me because I'm Johnny on the spot. We're having a fun conversation. It's ping ponging back and forth. I've got my overachiever firstborn alive and well in me. And so I'm ready to like get stuff done all day long. I can produce like a wild banshee, all this stuff. And I've been trying to really like step back, take a deep breath, and then move forward with more purpose. I want to make sure that the person in front of me, and if I'm looking in the mirror, this is true too, that the person in front of me has my presence, my undivided attention, my right here and now.
Mm. I like that. And I really need to hear that. And I'm struggling right now. I really, really am. And so this is just so like an arrow to my heart. And what I've been hanging on to is you and I both in November, we were in Charlotte, North Carolina at one of my favorites, and I'm sure one of your favorite um uh, it's a retreat, but you can call it a convention, whatever you want, and it's DO. That's capital D, E, and then a capital W. It stands for Dental Entrepreneur Women in Dentistry. And our keynote for our farewell was the fabulous Christy Bolts. And one of the things that she said that really, really hit me is you can't, like, if you decide to work out, you don't just all of a sudden go try and run 5, 10 miles, right? And so she talked about whether it's physical, whether it's your like what you're saying, your own thoughts and how you think about yourself, or how you verbally speak to others. She was saying that if you do better 1% every day, then if you can just think what's 1% better. So maybe if it's I had 5 bad thoughts about myself and I started paying attention to that, then that's 1% better. So that if I was even doing just 2 thoughts a day, that's 1% better. If I haven't been walking and getting my whole energy out in the fresh air and I've just been stuck in my house and I start walking more often, that's 1% better, even if it's just around the block. So I've been really focusing on that. The other thing that I've been focusing on is she gave the analogy, and there's some book or there's some reading about it, and it's about a bicycle, and she talked about the back wheel is your powerhouse. That's your what you want to do, And I have a lot of ideas and things, but I'm not pedaling. I'm not using that back wheel to power myself in a certain direction right now. I'm kind of just floundering. It's almost like my chain on my bike isn't hooked in and I'm just pedaling, but I'm not really getting anywhere because I'm not intentional about what goals I have. And then she talks about the front wheel being your support system and the people that help you steer and get you in the right way. And I started really thinking about who I'm hanging out with and who do I want and who is my front wheel, my power. So I'm using Christy Bolt's closing um, discussion she had with us, and that's what's getting me through 1% every day because it's been tough. It's been tough. I have to admit, this last quarter.
Well, I think that you're not alone because, I've been doing a fair amount of it myself, and it is the general consensus as I look around and share deeply with the people around me, both personally and professionally. So I think that you're right. 1% better towards what you were hoping for. And I don't think that it's necessarily, it doesn't, when we say goals, that doesn't necessarily mean professional or production or getting things done. I really believe that it means your goals of who you want to be, how you want to be in the roles that you have, how you want to show up in this world and the interactions. And, when we're playing whack a mole with all of our to do lists,
Yeah.
it will take us
And I think it's
down.
even more important, like what you're saying, because it's harder to do your professional goals if you're not solid within your own core. You might go through some of them, but that's what's happening with me is that to be 100% honest, like my core isn't solid. So how could I even pedal that bike and make progress if I'm not solid within my own self? So one
Well,
of
and when you're
yeah.
busy, I think that one of the most important things that we can do, especially if you are an overproducer, overachiever, highly critical and productive human being, like so many dental professionals are, right? That
Mhm.
the profession calls to us personally,
Most of them have in their top 5 achiever and learner, and
right? So
maximizer. Yeah.
we come by this naturally. So my invitation to you, Jamie, back in myself as am looking in the mirror, and then to all of you listening to the Heart of Dentistry would be take that breath, take that step back at the very beginning of your day.
Mhm.
Jamie, you talked about going for the walk. I truly believe that if you can take time to do even the tiniest bit of movement and meditation first thing before you get your big old hammer out that's gonna get those moles all day long.
Yeah.
If if we can even just 10 minutes, if you can move your body for 5 and then sit with yourself for 5, that
Like
10 minutes will be way more than 1%. I am sure that we would get the stamp of approval from our dear friend Christy.
yes.
And enter the day from a place of purpose and preparedness.
Yeah, I agree, I like that. I'm gonna end on an action item that Christy did for us. One of the questions she asked us is, "This past year, who has made you better?" Okay, that's an easy one for me. And then the second question is, "Who have you made better?" And that's a harder one to answer sometimes because you might feel like you're being boastful if you had an answer or a couple of people that you were. And then who who do you need to be hang out with more or be around more to make you better, stronger, happier, and more successful? So that's our action item for you guys for 2024. This is our second year of doing this, Brandy. It has been, we started this thought process, I think, right after COVID. So it took a year to get it in the makings. There was a wedding and a move across country and kids and all kinds of things going on. But I'm so glad that we did it. And I'm so glad we are doing it. And I'm hoping that people will share our podcast with other people and that you're getting some enlightenment and some great business and professional and personal ideas from us and from our guests.
Agreed. So honored to be next to you, Jamie. And thank you everyone for signing in. We will look forward to seeing you next time.
Yep. See you later, all.